We are living in an age of scammers, and that's why, as real estate agents, it is critical that we know how to spot fake buyers and fake sellers. So, today I have a case study for you that comes from one of the Facebook groups that I'm in. It is a real live agent sharing her experience with a fake buyer. If you're curious about some tips and tricks you can use to spot fake sellers, check out the pinned comment or the link in the description to one of my videos that talks specifically about how to identify fake sellers. So let's get right into this case study. I'm going to share my screen with you. I took some screenshots of the post, and we are going to go ahead and get into it. This agent says that she had floor duty and that let me get back to the first page. She had floor duty and that she got a call from a gentleman identifying himself as Gordon Annette. And he told her that he and his wife were going to be relocating to the agent's area from Louisiana in about 2 months when their lease expired. He said that their budget was $450,000 to $500,000. So they discuss wants and needs, and he ends up emailing her a pre approval letter. And the first thing that this agent did right, and I'm going to be talking about some things that she did right, and she did a whole lot right, as well as a few things that she could have done differently or better. But the first thing that she did right was immediately try to verify whether the pre approval letter was legit. Now, she reached out to the lender, which was Veterans United, and I'm not sure if she did anything to verify that the number on the pre approval letter for Veterans United was legit on the front end, if she Googled, whatever. I'm not sure about that. But there is a detail that we'll get to momentarily that makes me think that maybe she did, but I'm not 100% certain about that. But what I will tell you is that when you get a pre approval letter directly from the person purporting to be a buyer, it is critical that you confirm that what you were receiving is legit. So you're going to want to Google the name of the lender, find numbers for them, and dial those numbers. Try to get in contact with the loan officer whose name appears on the pre approval as well. And sometimes the number on that pre approval letter is a cell phone number. So just hold that little tidbit in your head for a minute. So, um, they talked about the wants and needs. She sets up an MLS search for him, and she pulls a few properties that she thinks he might be interested in seeing. And he's supposed to come to town on Saturday. His wife won't be with him. So he asks, can they do a Zoom? She says, sure, no problem. They scheduled the Zoom for 11 o'clock the next day. And she gets on the Zoom. She waits, she waits, she waits. And I think before she got on the Zoom, she tried to call the loan officer and still wasn't able to get her, but she did get her voicemail and leave a message. So she's on the Zoom call, she's waiting, no buyers. And one of the things that the buyer had told her was that it would be him, his wife, and the loan officer on the Zoom call. And that immediately raised a red flag for this agent. And I say kudos to her. She gets a gold star for having that antenna up to begin with and knowing that it is unusual when a real estate agent is going to be talking to a client about properties that they're going to visit, that the loan officer would be involved in that. So she immediately made note of that and just said, that's kind of odd. So she waited about 15 or 20 minutes. They didn't show up. She disconnects. And at 11:25, she says she gets a message from him stating that they have been trying to join her meeting, but that they couldn't do it because uh, they were getting a notification that the host hadn't set up remote access. And he said that he was going to send her a Zoom invite. Now, what she did wrong in that instant was that she should have said to him, "No, I can't use your Zoom link. I'll send you another link." And the reason that she should have stopped it is that we should never, ever accept a Zoom link from a prospective buyer or prospective seller. Zoom, Google Meet, any other platform, we should not be accepting those links. However, to her credit, when she got the Zoom link from him, she didn't just immediately click it. She hovered her mouse over the link. And when she did that, she could see that it was from a fake Zoom. It said Zoom Invite. And if the link does not say zoom.us or zoom.com, if it has anything extra with it, that's a signal that it's a fake Zoom link. And what you need to understand is that when you click those fake links, it gives the scammer access to your device, whether you're on a laptop, a desktop, your tablet, or your phone. They get access to your contacts. They can see all of your emails. They get access to your financial information, everything. So you never want to click a link from a prospective seller or a prospective buyer. And that's why I say you shouldn't even accept them. And I would just say, I have a policy where I don't accept video invites from prospective clients. I always manage that myself, and I'm happy to provide you with a link. So there was that. Now, the other thing that he did was send a picture that purported to show him and his wife and the loan officer patiently waiting for her, for the real estate agent, to start the Zoom meeting. So hold on to that piece of information as well. So once she realized that this Zoom link that he sent was fake, she sent him a text message and said, "Hey, it doesn't look real, and I have to remain cautious." After a little bit of back and forth, he asked to reschedule. And I'm sure that he was trying to reassure her that the link that he sent was indeed legit. I'm just assuming that I'm using my powers of deduction to just imagine what that back and forth was like. Um, so she agrees to reschedule, says she'll send him a new Zoom link. So then she calls the loan officer again. And this time she's able to get her on the phone. And she acknowledged getting the real estate agent's message and immediately says that whoever has contacted her is a fraudster. She goes on to tell her that the pre approval letter that this guy provided was one that she had provided to a client a month or so previous. And somehow this fraudster had infiltrated her client's email and gotten the pre approval letter, doctored it up with his name, and then he had changed the loan officer's phone number, her cell phone number, by one digit. So when someone called, the call wouldn't go through. It was to a disconnected number. So going back to what I first said to you, that she called Veterans United. What she didn't say was whether she had tried to contact the loan officer directly on the phone number, the cell phone number showing on the pre approval letter for the loan officer, or if she had called the number for Veterans United that appeared on the pre-approval letter, or alternatively, if she had just Googled Veterans United and found a phone number for them. But anyway, the loan officer went on to say that this scammer had been reaching out to agents all over the country, just waiting for one to take the bait, and that Veterans United was actively working to stop him from doing his dirt. Now, one thing that I will say that she could have done and probably should have done is taken the phone number that the scammer had given her and run it through Forewarn or another similar system. And what Forewarn does is to tell you who the phone number that you're dialing actually belongs to and whether they have any criminal background. So she could have done that. Another thing that she could have done before she even got to the sending of the Zoom link was to tell this buyer that she has a client identification protocol that she follows and that she uses a system called TrustStamp. TrustStamp is an app provided by the National Association of Realtors. It is free to all members. And what TrustStamp does is that it uses, some tech stuff. I can't explain all of that, but it uses some tech stuff to verify identity. And the way it works is that once an agent sets up their account, they can send a link to a prospective client. And that link is going to ask the client to verify their identity by uploading a copy of their driver's license, taking a photo of themselves, and TrustStamp is going to and providing the link to a social media account. And then TrustStamp is going to do its thing, and it's going to come back with either a green notification, an amber notification, or a red notification. Green means you're good to go. Yellow means be cautious and you might want to take some additional steps to identify whether this person is legit. And red means put on the brakes. This person is a phony. So she could have utilized TrustStamp early on in the process and maybe not even gotten into the Zoom link and wasting her time. And she said that after she spoke to the loan officer, she texted the guy and said that she just spoke with the loan officer. And the guy just said, okay. And she doubts that she'll ever hear back from him. And that's usually how these scammers work. Once they realize that you're onto them, they're going to disappear. So overall, this agent did an excellent job. She was definitely on her toes and looking for signs that this buyer might be a scammer. And she certainly identified some things that were concerning. And ultimately, she did not get caught up in dealing with the scammer. So kudos to her. So overall, I think this agent did a fantastic job of identifying this scammer. And, are there a couple things she could have done better? Yes. But overall, she did a great job. And she prevented herself from getting mixed up with the scammer, saving herself a whole lot of time and headache. If you have any questions about this video or this topic, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'll be more than happy to respond. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel and like this video.